Alright, folks, welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host, Josh, and this is part 21 of our Let's Play of the Letter. When we last left off, we had had our opinion sour a bit on Marianne, especially towards the end. Marianne met Rebecca, at the library. They had sort of a chance meeting there and got along decently well. Uh, the deal went through with the house, and Marianne was very disturbed by how quickly the deal went through. She certainly doesn't seem to like Hannah and Luke outside of a sort of professional context, and went to the Realty Corporation to get a print schematic of the mansion. And while she was there, she noted that it seemed like there weren't many people there, which fits in with the sort of disappearance of the workers there. And then also had just a very sour conversation with Isabella that really has made me turn on Marianne in a big way. But who knows? You know, maybe she'll win me back. We'll see. So this is that evening then. Though I'm able to keep myself professional at all times, does not mean I like it. And seeing that most of the day has already gone by before I realized it, I choose to head back to my flat instead. Despite today being a Saturday. No fun, but at least this way I can definitely avoid another unpleasant encounter. Considering how much I'll be seeing whiskey in the near foreseeable future, I have a feeling I'll need all the rest the weekend can give me. Yeah, here. For the first time in a long while, excited as I am to work on the mansion, I cannot wait to be over and done with this project. Just, you know, you just get a sour feeling from Marianne right now. Monday couldn't come any sooner. Okay, so we've passed the weekend now. And we're here, right? Yes. Okay, so this is the day that ends Isabella's chapter, and this is right after Rose has died. After taking the floor plans from Miss Santos the day before the last, I spent most of my Sunday drawing up plans and calling in my suppliers. Although no design choices have been made yet, I'm quite sure that they'd want high-end appliances, the most expensive materials, and the most pretentious everything. They usually did, these rich types, based from experience at least. Given how badly this whole thing started, it wouldn't hurt to be prepared. I have to check myself, make sure I'm not playing with my gloves as one of the other building tenants takes the elevator up with me. It makes me self-conscious when the woman's eyes go over me, and I'm sure she was going to point out some perceived flaw in my physical appearance. Oh, touchy. But I'm saved from being paranoid when they went off a few floors later. Still, the ride up to my floor is nerve-wracking. Yeah, Marianne, I wonder what it's like to, you know, point out flaws in another person. And how does that make the other person feel? Maybe we should have thought about that with Isabella. The Wrights lived at the very top, the penthouse, the creme de la creme when it comes to condominium and urban living. Just getting access to the place is an ordeal of its own. I had to jump so many hoops, so many security checks, just to secure a key card. Not only because of building management, but because of the Wrights' personal security. Sometimes felt like I'm being interrogated for a crime, but not visiting a client at their home. Well, that does make me feel better that, you know, of course Zach got caught and arrested. Even when their personal assistant called in to help out and verify my presence, the process is aggravated rather than hastened. Speaking of the devil, Johannes? There's this guy I barely trust. The elevator door opens, and I'm greeted by none other than Whiskey's not-so-little lackey.
I do apologize if I kept Mr. and Mrs. Wright waiting, but I'm here now and I'm ready, so if I may, where are they?
They've just woken up, but they should be down soon. I'm surprised to see you made it through security. And only 5 minutes late.
How many minutes late were you expecting me?
You said I'd be through security soon, and it took half an hour. Define soon in this context.
I'd make myself comfortable if I were you. I'm going to go and put the kettle
Oh,
on.
this is gonna be a long day, huh?
About the tea, I don't want to intrude or anything.
Do you just not like drinks? Is that what your problem is, Marianne? You made tea for whiskey.
The sir does not like being woken up by the whistling. But who am I to deny tea to a guest?
I get the feeling that Johannes really likes pissing off Luke. That's my feeling. He shows me to the couch before drifting off towards the kitchen, quietly pulling out a teapot, cups and all sorts of other things in preparation for tea. I ignore the animosity towards his employer that his words implied. I wouldn't be too surprised if Whiskey's own people don't like him. Okay, yeah, I'm glad we agree. Accepting the quiet and isolation instead, I brace myself for what's to come. In this case, soon apparently means more than 5 minutes, or even 10. I sit in their living room just waiting. I mean, that is pretty rude. Like, somebody comes over that's working for you, you don't, like, make them wait. When the kettle starts whistling and the tea has been served, I continue to wait. At least the silence is relaxing. But then, there's a crash. I nearly spilled tea all over my lap in surprise. I look up, expecting security to come running. Even the man at the kitchen counter continues to fix breakfast, like he heard nothing. I don't want to speak up about it, because he looks far too absorbed in his cooking, and I don't want to be the cause of burnt food, or worse. No, we wouldn't want that. However, there's something in me that just wants to figure out what that was, although I'm normally not this nosy. What should I do, then? I mean, me, really, in this situation, and also I feel like, relatively with Marianne, I would just continue waiting, right? Like, if nobody seems alarmed by anything, then this is probably some, you know, thing that they're all used to. And I get the feeling that Check It Out is going to be some kind of like, uh-oh, we went in the room when something embarrassing was happening, and then Hannah and Luke hate me now. So, let's continue waiting. I have no business with it. These rich people usually value their privacy above all else, after all. Unless, of course, they're posting pictures on social media, bragging about what good people they are for allowing themselves to be interviewed for some magazine. Then again, the whole reason I'm in this mess is because I don't give two shits about what goes on with people like them. And I'm not going to get caught snooping about and be accused of some imagined wrongdoing. I'm not going to be some busybody detective wannabe and run off to investigate whatever that was. It's probably just something mundane anyway, like a lamp falling over. Well, the more... the more Marianne makes it seem like it's nothing, now the more I think it was something serious. I'm just gonna sit here and wait for Mrs. Wright. With my tea, in complete silence.
Could I at least put the telly on?
I get the feeling something spooky is gonna happen here. I don't really expect him to answer. If he hadn't heard the crash, I doubt he would have heard me.
As long as you don't watch some silly soap opera.
You don't get to tell me what I do and don't get to watch, Johannes.
The LBC News would be fine. The William Walker show is on too, if you prefer that. Not that I watch it, but my husband does. The remote is under the coffee table.
Oh, sure. Maybe I'll be lucky and catch the doc on.
We all love the doc.
I heard they're having reruns of the classics, and I want to see the second meet sixth in Spain. If not, just the news then. Thank you. I'll let you get on with your cooking now.
See, I do like when you're a big nerd, but did he just ignore the crash a while ago then? Well, whatever. Fetching the remote, I turned the TV on in the hopes of filling the silence. Trying to, anyway, because the thing won't turn on. And doesn't that make the silence more awkward, or what? I know I might not be the best with tech, but I'm sure I can work a simple television remote. Have you tried turning it off and then back on again?
The batteries must be dead.
Yeah, see, this is kind of the feeling that I had. What? What? Now, what's interesting here is that, okay, obviously it says help me on the back part there, but the girl doesn't look like the Ring Girl, because that's blonde hair, and Ring Girl's is black, and like pink? Like a pink top? Coat? Something like that? I don't know, it seems like a different person. There's blood everywhere. Help me, it says in red. I look at my own hands and find them clean, yet I can see my grisly reflection gaping back at me. And though there is nothing staining my skin, I can feel the sticky and warm feeling of blood dripping down my cheeks. I should be worried. Instead, I feel my attention drawn towards her. Her beautiful blonde hair, her soft lips with skin so fair, and swaying hips. Oh, so this has more to do with your past, I see. I want nothing more than to hold her, plant my lips on her neck, and run my fingers through her hair. Are you a vampire, Marianne? What the... She laughs and she smiles when she looks at me, but where are her eyes? Temptation is gone in an instant and I recoil, horrified at this reflection I'm seeing, only to back into something, or rather, someone. And it's... Oh, no. Oh, okay. And is it... No, this... I was gonna say, is this our first time meeting Hannah? But no, of course it's not. Miss Wright stands there, twirling a lock of her blonde hair, a soft smile on her lips, and a hand on her hip. I almost back away, but I ground and remind myself that this is my client. And whatever I just saw, well, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that perhaps I'm going a bit daft. It would be preferable, of course, to think it was all a trick of the light or the makings of an overactive imagination.
Good morning, Mrs. Wright. I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Did you enjoy the blood I put on the window? I thought you. I just thought it might be a fun idea for the mansion.
Have you been standing there long?
No, I just came down and saw you were having a hard time with the telly. We must have forgotten to change the batteries. Are you all right, dear? You're looking a bit pale. Haven't you had breakfast yet?
No, I'm fine. I had breakfast already, Mrs. Wright. I just need...
Well then, you mustn't have had enough breakfast. I'm all for a good diet, but that's the most important meal of the day. Johans is cooking up pancakes.
Ooh!
Pancakes will make anyone feel better, he always says. We can sit down and tuck in.
I'd love to tuck in with some pancakes, Hannah.
You'll feel right as rain once we get some fluffy, syrupy goodness in you. And are you sure you're fine, Marianne? You're shaking.
It's just... pancakes are what killed my mother. Looking down at my hands, I can see them trembling. Really? Just because she looks so much like her? I'm becoming a damn train wreck. I've been seeing her in my dreams and hearing her voice ever since I met Miss Wright at the mansion. With so many blondes in the world, what was different with her? What was different this time? I mean, you know me. I'm always better. I always like to share information, even when it doesn't go well. So even though this is probably going to result in a negative relationship thing with Hannah, I think it's important that we tell her what's going on.
I just remembered something, that's all. It's nothing to worry about.
Okay, alright. Hannah likes that. We're getting along great with Hannah. Luke's okay. Everyone else, eh.
Are you sure? I am all ears if there is something bothering you. I don't mind a good story, and I don't want it to affect your work performance.
Gossipy wagon, isn't she? She should just leave you alone. It's not like you need her.
What in God's name is this inside, this inner voice?
You don't have to worry about that, Mrs. Wright. I say business stays business, and anything else can stay in the doghouse until I'm done with work.
I just have to bear through it, don't I? If I tell her I'm hearing voices, there'd be a fast track straight to the nut house. What else can I do? Saint Dimphna help me lest I become like her father Damon, insane at the thought of a lost love and mad at the pursuit of another. Man, she sure loves to reference saints. I mean, Irish, yeah, Catholic, I would assume. Let's, Marianne? Roman Catholic, yeah, makes sense, okay. Which, by the way, did look up what Saint Coretti is, and I mean, you know, content warning / trigger there on sexual assault, but if you want to look that one up, it is some somewhat dark stuff. Alright.
Shall we talk about your work then?
If you'd like. It's on your time, after all.
You're paying me, like, $10,000 an hour, so by all means.
I've been told many good things about you, and I've seen some of your work before. Others speak very highly of your work etiquette, yet I've never heard of you before. Not even a whisper of the McCullough name.
Well, I've only been in Luxbourne for 4 years. Tried to make it big in London for nearly 3 years before, and I've only been working these high-quality projects for the past year.
Only been working with rich snobs for roughly the past year. I stick straight to the point. It's best to be brief when talking to clients, after all. Keep it clean-cut as much as possible. Yet, at the same time, have to make it engaging so it doesn't look like I don't want to talk to them.
I imagine it hasn't been easy. I can't see why you've moved from London to Luxbourne, though.
It must be really hard to be this fake, Marianne.
Job vacancies were fewer at the time, and I had a lot of competition in London. Let's not even talk about the living costs there.
Oh my god!
But I'm glad I moved here, even if it hadn't been smooth sailing. If I had it easy, I probably wouldn't be working projects like these.
Why even bother explaining to her? She won't understand. She's practically born with a silver spoon in her mouth. The woman could probably snap her fingers and have servants attending to her beck and call.
So, I mean, I'm gonna assume that this inner voice is, like, her memory of whoever this blonde girl is that she's so obsessed with, or something along those lines? But not sure. She does look the part of a spoiled heiress, doesn't she? Would be a relief if she's just that. Something that's different from Mrs. Wright and her. Before she can get another word in, words that may have proved me wrong or right, she looks up at the loft with a fond expression on her face. Oh no, no. With just a simple glance, she can put in so much love that I feel a tad bit jealous of whoever holds
Good
it.
morning, Luke, darling.
Why would you ever...
Good morning, ladies. What a wonderful morning it is that I wake up to such a beautiful sight.
Ugh. Who could ever look with love in their eyes at this man? Oh, fun. Fun stuff.
I do hope you two are getting along. I smell pancakes. I do hope you two are considering a diet just so I can have them all to myself.
There is something that's like so fake about charming Luke that I do kind of like it.
Don't be a pig, Luke. You eat all of those and you might stop fitting into your tight suits.
What? I'm not a pig.
What?
You don't think I'm a pig, do you, Marianne?
Yeah, can I answer? With his saucy smile and playful wink, I can't help but think, you are a bit of a pig, Whiskey.
I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm an interior designer, not a zoologist.
Yeah, this is quite the game they're playing of not revealing this, but like, ugh.
The only style she must be familiar with are statement of works.
What the good one, Hannah?
Well, don't be a bore. You two might not be in a rush, but I'm going to go ahead and feast.
If you dawdle too long, he'll hog all the syrup.
Rich people are so eccentric.
Come on then, we can discuss business over food.
There is no denying the clients when they invite me over to the table. Though it is too personal to share a meal in their home, it would be terribly rude to deny their invitation. Ooh, that does look good. Besides, the pancakes did look and smell heavenly. A bowl of clotted cream, fruit, syrups, jams, and other spreads are laid out next to them, making for a colorful arrangement. If this was a brunch with friends, I would have gladly helped myself to the whole lot. But as it is, I accepted just a few pieces of pancakes and topped off with lemon and sugar.
You know, I was a tiny bit serious when I said I wanted a helipad.
And you're not serious about the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables.
Well, I do want those too, but I know you'll agree to those.
We're talking about interiors here, honey. You don't handle exterior designs and whatever handles those sets of projects do you, Marianne?
This whole, this weird thing of Hannah saying Marianne different, there's gotta be something to that, right? There has to be some, like, plot-relevant reason that keeps happening.
I'm able, actually, and willing to take a project of that nature. I was an architect in Ireland before. Of course, that's another contract entirely. I also suggest we finish the house itself before working on any additions to the rest of the property. There won't be any problems about ownership this time, will there? Pardon if I'm crossing a line, but the acquisition was rather quick.
Ooh, yeah, let's get some info.
Oh, don't you worry. We've got everything sorted this time around. I've talked to Miss Cooper and Mr. John from BRC. Oh, as well as the old owners.
Ooh, have you talked to the old owners now?
Everything has been paid in full, and all we're waiting for is the paperwork from the land registry. They're letting us move in as soon as we please. It's not like they were living there in the first place.
That's good to hear. The problems that could arise from renovating another person's home would be... well, let's not dwell on it. First off, we'll want to know how you want the place to look. It's pretty furnished as is, but I understand if you want to modernize the whole thing.
You know, all helipads?
Actually, I'd prefer to keep the place looking as it is. But at the same time, I want modern appliances. You worked on the Ludgate's Christchurch summer residence. I do remember there being an oven I thought was a simple drawer before. Make them look vintage, antique, blend in with the rest of the decor.
Customize appliances then. I can't find someone for that, and if you can't tell me what you specifically want, it'll hasten up the process. We're talking about electronic appliance manufacturers. If you have a preferred brand to work with.
Splendid! So, what is next on our agenda? All the other interior designers we've hired in the past do not have us this involved.
I stop. What sort of half-baked designer did that? If I knew who they were, I would have words. If you're not having pancakes with your clients, you are not doing your job. This isn't the time or place for it, however. Instead, I use this brief pause to pull out the floor plans I brought with me.
We'll have to figure out what you want to do with the rooms. Here, we can have a quick run through.
What is that little room next to the master's bedroom?
Oh, as far as I could tell when I saw it, it's a second bedroom of sorts.
We talking about this one here?
Used, apparently, for the ladies in waiting who has served Lady Charlotte Ermengarde. Which is strange, as that isn't the norm for these sorts of houses.
Well, we're not stuffing Johans in there. He won't fit.
Rude.
You don't suppose we could turn it into a walk-in closet and a dressing room?
Oh, he's talking about this little thing here, I think.
I love fashion. But do we really need to turn an entire room into a walk-in closet, dear? We'll have large closets and a wardrobe in the bedroom already.
Says the one who takes 3/5 of our closet. Well, what do you suggest we do with it?
I thought a utility room of some sort would be nice. A craft room where I can do fun things.
A room for crafts!
Or maybe a children's room might be nice. You know, for when Kylie comes over.
Shoot!
Or if Rochelle
Shoot!
visits once she's had a baby.
Is that her name? Can I find this? Is Kylie her name? That could be Kylie! Yes! Yes! There he made Kylie Suarez. Precocious young girl. Okay. Mystery solved. Yes. Okay. The goddaughter is Kylie, the girl that Zach met. Alright. I'm glad I finally got that one resolved.
1, you are not inviting that witch. And 2, there's a whole mansion for Kylie to play in.
Yes, but she needs a place that is her room, Luke.
We don't need a children's room, and you don't even do arts and crafts. I'd like to turn the guest's room and the study into my personal office, by the way, if you don't mind.
You can turn it into a personal office if I can have my utility room. It's just the one room of the many. I'm taking that room for myself, no matter what you say, dearie. So you might as well take this deal. You're always out doing business anyway.
What with your Cardiffs?
The real problem is the theater. Whatever are we going to do with all that space?
Host shows, apparently.
Fine. We could turn it into our own personal cinema, I suppose.
Yeah!
Might as well have it, if you plan on not having a telly in the parlor.
Oh God, what's wrong with you, Anna?
Yes, well, I don't want guests to be glued to the telly when they come over for a meal and some tea. By the looks of things, we can keep the rooms as what they are on the ground floor, though. The ballroom would be perfect for parties.
Do we really need a dining hall, though? I don't suppose we can't convert it into a garage.
What? Why? I feel like the dining hall is one of like the most necessary rooms. What are you talking about?
You can park your cars outside.
What about that room, right there, in the northwest corner?
Well, again, man, that's one of those like where the voice line just sounded completely different there. This one?
That's sleeping quarters for the household head.
Oh, well, we'll just get rid of that immediately. There's no need for that.
Oh, that is perfect. Johans will be glad if we have other staff members who stayed in. It'd be convenient, so they don't have to make the trip from Luxbourne to the mansion when they're needed.
Oh, yes, 24-hour servants. How delightful.
You'll definitely need a lot more people to maintain a property of this size.
The mansion is really a lot bigger than I thought. Look at all these rooms. I didn't even know there was a music room next to the parlor because of what happened.
There was a grand piano in there too, when we checked during the tour.
Did you hear that, Luke? Maybe you can take up playing the piano again.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I bet you're quite the maestro, Luke.
Oh, you should have seen him when we were younger, Marianne.
It's not like I was very good with the thing.
Oh, hush you. You were no Mozart, but I loved hearing you play nonetheless.
The way you performed Chopsticks was like no other, Luke, darling.
He'd come over to my home and he'd play such fun tunes. He'd sing too, and I'd dance, and it was just...
Oh, the days would just melt away. Mr. Wright playing the piano? I can't imagine it. But the earnest way in which Miss Wright said so told otherwise.
Anyway, what do you think of these plans, Marianne?
Are we not even going to consider one of my requests? Not even just a closet or just a garage?
We're not getting rid of the dining hall for a garage, you moron.
Now, that isn't fair, is it? You're not the only one who's going to be living here.
I hardly see how that's unfair. I told you you're getting your office and your theater, the greenhouse, the vineyard, and the stables. That sounds fair, does it not, Marianne?
Yes, it sounds fair. Yeah, that's just the way I want it, so that's fine. Miss Wright has her points, though I really didn't want to butt into that spat of a husband and wife. But with the way the two were looking at me to settle this, I might as well just keep to the facts instead of giving opinion.
Mr. Wright, your plan isn't quite feasible from an architectural perspective. I'm not even sure how much we can do without closer inspection. Well, the one about the garage, at least. A walk-in closet is easy enough, but the garage?
The garage, Luke, come now.
See, a garage isn't architecturally feasible, and it isn't going to be financially sound as well. We're already going to spend a lot on your other requests. You have several acres of land to park on already.
What? Did you calculate that on the fly? Financially sound my foot. You're probably just thinking up of imaginary numbers.
Might I remind you that I was a financial manager? I also looked over and approved the expenses of our other houses. I know the rough cost of these things by now, love.
Do either of you work now? Like, I don't think either of them have said anything about, like... I mean, I guess he said he has an office and he's constantly doing business outside, but...
Masters in Business Administration, major in accounting. Sometimes I think you forget that I'm not as dumb as I act.
But I do act. I act my butt off. That catches my attention more than anything. It sounds more unbelievable than Whiskey playing the piano. She really didn't seem like the type.
Business administration and accounting? What university?
Luxborn U, of course. Go Lux Dragons, red and gold.
Love those Lux
Excuse me,
Dragons.
how about we move on this chit-chat ahead and do whatever else needs to be done sometime today? I had to cancel my appointments for this,
My appointments!
We might
The
as well do
wine
a proper
tasting,
inspection of the
God.
designer this time, just to get it out of the way.
Yes, no time like the present. You want a thorough inspection? Might as well do it now. We actually took another look at the property yesterday, though it was brief. But I'm sure you would want to see it yourself, to spot anything we might have missed.
It's not like I have much of a choice, do I? Oh, and I'm sure nothing bad will happen here. Let's take a look at our fine picture. Get back to here. Ah, delicious pancakes, of course. That's the most important part of that scene. Riding to the Ermengarde mansion in their rice is an awkward affair. Not only am I worried about scuffing the expensive leather seats, but I'm also worried about getting in the middle of another couple spat. It seems like that's pretty much all that's going to happen when you're with these two, Marianne. With the tension thick in the air, I can feel them starting at each other at any time. Nobody is saying anything, up until Mr. Wright tells his valet to turn the damn radio off. Turn the damn radio off! And for a moment, I think that he might start. But instead, he just stays quiet, and so do the rest of us. In the end, the sufferable silence stays. What a delightful group to be with. Never been so glad to see a house. Stepping out of the car and up to the mansion meant the end of an uncomfortable ride, and I could finally take a deep breath of fresh air. The beauty of the place never fails to make me gaze in wonder every time I see it as well. Mr. Wright moved towards the front door, keys in hand, and I can already hear Mr. Wright plotting.
Alright, Hans, we're going to go in, but I want you to look around the place. Familiarize yourself with it.
Look for any sort of secret entrances.
Know every nook and cranny, every inch of the lot. Go and see where we can put that vineyard and the other things we talked about. We'll want to know where to station security as well, so go around the perimeter and figure it out.
You know, just in case any sort of photographers try to come in through a window because they think something spooky's going on, and that way you can do your, like, judo karate and then send him to jail.
Scouts a property and circles a perimeter on foot. You do know this is 46 acres of land, sir.
Yes, yes.
Well, you are not driving a car over the grass. Put those long, spidery legs of yours to good use.
Jeez.
I didn't hire you to stand around and look intimidating.
Why would anybody work for this man?
Go, mush.
Someday, I'd like to ask how Johannes can even stand and tolerate the man. Why doesn't he just quit? Certainly the pay can't be that good. I mean, Marianne, right now, in this moment, you and I are on the same wavelength. Even I'm a bit put off by our mutual employer, and the only thing that keeps me from bailing is the fact that we've already signed a contract. At least I'll only be working with them during the duration of the project. He works with them every day.
Sometimes I think you hired me to make me suffer for your amusement.
See, this is things like this that make me think that you're the mastermind here, Johannes. Someday I'd ask. I feel a bit bad for him. If it's any consolation, he'll be away from Mr. Wright, if only for a little while. Instead, I get to deal with him. Alright, but we are going to have to deal with him and Hannah and whatever else waits for us in the mansion next time. Until then, this has been Downstage Gaming. I've been your host, Josh, and I'll see you next time.